Hey guys, A-Bomb here for noEHinTEAM, your number one source for awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to Black Friday, episode number 5. This week I will be talking about game types and some of the new game types that we're going to see in Black Ops 2. So right off the bat, one of the many things that Call of Duty as a franchise has done well year over year over year is given us a variety of game types. It's one reason why you tend to see more consistent play on Call of Duty than you do on Battlefield, which I know we're not, again, Battlefield and Call of Duty will forever be linked and forever be compared just because they're the two big current shooters of this. Over the past few years they have been, and could probably continue to be the 1 and 2 pairing for a while. But one reason that Call of Duty tends to have a larger, more consistent audience is that they have more variety in their game types. If you love huge maps and you love slower paced gameplay and you love vehicles, obviously you're going to gravitate to Battlefield. But if you're more into the infantry side, the one-on-one person-to-person engagements, obviously Call of Duty is going to be your preference, and that's not because Battlefield can't provide that. I haven't played the CQB expansion that Battlefield 3 has put out, but from what I understand, it puts more of the focus back on infantry. But I did play Bad Company 2, and they had a couple of infantry modes, or almost exclusively infantry modes, that were a lot of fun. One of them being Squad Deathmatch, the other one being Squad Rush. So we're talking player v player, and vehicles were basically a non-factor. In the Squad Deathmatch, there was one tank that one of the 4 teams could take control of, but it didn't really have a huge impact on the gameplay. So whereas with Call of Duty, rather than having the half a dozen game modes that Battlefield has, basically Conquest, Rush, and variants thereof, we've got a very extensive playlist on the multiplayer side. That's not even taking into account things like Spec Ops, single and multiplayer co-op, and zombie type game modes, or survival mode. And in the recent change that was added to Modern Warfare 3 was the Chaos mode. So that's not even taking into those into account. We're just strictly talking about multiplayer game modes available on the playlists, and I think clearly the biggest change and the biggest adjustment that we're seeing here is the aforementioned, the announced multi-team game modes. Now at Gamescom they displayed it, they highlighted it, they gave us a chance to look in and see what it was like, but they only showed us team deathmatch. I'll say for one, I'm glad, even if they only made multi-team modes available for team deathmatch, I say perfect, because team deathmatch is the most useless game type in any tactical shooter whatsoever. I honestly, millions of people still play team deathmatch, but I'll never understand why. With no objective, it really becomes kind of pointless, and I for one would much rather play a free-for-all style game than a team deathmatch. But that said, multi-team deathmatch, it sounds very intriguing, and it sounds like a ton of fun, because you can't generate the same type of map control you can in a one team versus one team scenario. There's going to be there's competing factions coming from all angles. It's going to change the way you approach certain areas on the map. It's going to make strong points really important. Now, Treyarch has announced that there will be multi-team available in other game types, so we can probably expect to see it in some of the classic game modes like Domination, and like Headquarters and whatnot, stuff like that, stuff with like very pinpoint objectives, RPG really. And I think it'll really change things up. Domination especially, it'll be very difficult to keep control of more than one point on the map. You're really gonna see that. I forgot about that. That was gold. The guy standing there misses me with the knife from 4 feet away and gets pwned. Anyways, don't do that, guys. I think Domination would be one game mode that would be really revolutionized with multi-team, because it's going to be, I think it'll make games longer, because it'll be a lot harder to pull the dom points, but you'll also it's going to change the way it plays completely, because spawn traps will be next to impossible when there's 2 or 3 additional teams on the map, and they're coming from different directions. So I think it'll make it a little more competitive. I definitely think the fun factor will be increased. Anytime a game becomes less controllable for the winning team, I think it lends itself to a better experience, because you won't feel, if somebody's on a team that's getting kind of lit up at the start or whatever, you won't feel as out of it as you would if you knew that you're kind of stuck where you are. People that are like, they're server, farming, they're looking for the right team at the right time and whatnot, that you'll see them quit less. And I also think you'll see a lot less, the rounds where it's like air support, air support, air support, air support. That just gets frustrating. The other nice thing about multi-team modes is you need less people to fill out your team. So Canuck and I in the past played a fair amount of team tactical. That's actually what this gameplay is. We were playing short-handed, but when you're playing short-handed with 2 other people that 3v4, it's a lot more enjoyable than playing short-handed, say, in a pub lobby like 4 versus 6, or in ground war, a couple of guys short. It seems to make more of a difference. So in these multi-team scenarios, it's going to be smaller squads, so it'll be easier to get a couple of buddies online and make sure that you've got guys that can communicate, they've got mics and whatnot. It just makes it more enjoyable for everyone. One thing that we have not heard about is some of the existing game types. As an example, kill confirmed. That was a tweak on Team Deathmatch that I thought was long overdue. I thought it was really well done. I think a lot of people really enjoyed kill confirmed. It seemed to me to be one of the preferred game types. I mean, I can understand why. It was fairly fast paced. It added a little bit more strategy to your classic Team Deathmatch setting, but it was also done in a way that didn't allow for the the brutal objective campers that would sit in corners there. And I'm not saying playing the objective is wrong, but there's certain ways to go about it. If guys that are never offensive in any way, they just get annoying. So kill confirmed kind of made it so that you had to be aggressive in a lot of ways in order to you got to drop guys in order to get the points you need, but then you also have to go around and collect the tags. So it just, I don't know, it added a lot of texture to that game type. So I'm really hoping actually that they'll bring it back for Black Ops 2, because that obviously was new in Modern Warfare 3 and hadn't been seen before. Now, how about some game modes that Treyarch brought into play, that Modern Warfare brought back in as well, albeit late, frustratingly so. But they kind of took some of the wager match style games, and I think they were just created by some people in the community, and then they chose to throw them into the community playlists, and that being the 18 guns, the 6 guns. I don't recall it being in Black Ops. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I think that was new. But basically the same idea as the 18 guns, but just a little spin so it rotates. I remember in Black Ops there was a game type where the guns would rotate automatically on a time count. But I really like all these small game types, and not just the game types, but I really would love to see I'd really love to see Activision / Treyarch / Infinity Ward / the whole grouping bring in some casual play servers, or not even servers, but just play lists, because, well, there are no servers, so to speak. Because sometimes, honestly, I don't really want to care about my win-loss. I don't really want to care about my KD. I just want to go have some fun playing Call of Duty, and especially in a night when maybe you can't find anybody to play with, but you just want to go play some fun game modes. It'd be nice to have those. It'd be nice to have some options to play games that your stats aren't tracked. Like things like Infected. It's totally fun to change things up and go play Infected, but really, those stats should not be tied at all, because it's such a bizarre game type. And there's another example of a game type I'd like to see actually make a return in Black Ops 2, because great change of pace, and just kind of gives you kind of takes more advantage of the whole Call of Duty, the engine, the speed. It just, anything that adds enjoyment to the game to me is a good thing. We don't all want to always be in try-hard mode. That kind of gets tedious after a while, and especially since league play seems like it's going to be the only way to truly rank your player up fully. I think that giving players some casual options would be good. I've always thought that it'd be nice to have it'd be nice to have some playlist options where every weapon is unlocked, every perk is unlocked, etc. So that guys that maybe haven't unlocked it in the full on, in their full career mode, so to speak, they can still experience them, try them out, see what they like, and see what there is to look forward to, without there being a penalty, and by giving an opportunity just to get your feet wet with it. Alright, what else? So wager matches obviously won't be back in the the same way that they were previously, because there isn't going to be a currency system. So I'm not sure how they're going to go about doing that. I'd be super bummed if we don't see Sticks and Stones and those game types back. Like the Modern Warfare 3 where they did the All or Nothing. One in the Chamber, also fantastic in both Black Ops, and then the copycat version in Modern Warfare 3. One in the Chamber is a great game type. I'd be super bummed if that wasn't available. But again, some of these game types, it'd be nice if they weren't part of the overall stat tracking system. It was a good thing, I thought, in Black Ops that wager matches were kind of calculated and tracked separately, and they were perfect. Kind of just a Call of Duty relax mode, and I'd like to see something like that back in Black Ops 2. Alright guys, there you have it. 3v4, still get the win. Shorthanded doesn't mean anything when you got the right guys to play with. Alright, a couple of videos you may have missed. Definitely check out the one in the middle there. It is Tell Me I'm Wrong. We're really excited about it. We think you guys are going to enjoy it. We're going to bring more for you guys, and we want to get your input on it so that we get the right info in there. And on the left and on the right, the last couple of Black Friday episodes, Canuck talks about score streaks, and I talk about strike packages. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Oh, just realized, total fail. I didn't even cover Hardpoint, which was one of the new game modes that was confirmed, was displayed, and we saw some of it from the Gamescom feeds. Looks like a lot of fun. It's nothing totally groundbreaking or anything, but I do like that it's an objective-based game mode, but the objective moves. I think that is enjoyable for both teams because, again, the whole spawn trap map control thing comes into play, gives teams that are stuck a chance to break out, maybe gain a foothold in that new Hardpoint, and it's also very challenging for strong teams because if you can dominate a Hardpoint match, I think you really demonstrate that you've got superior communication, superior map control skills, and I think it'll be fun for both the novice player and the experienced player. All right, guys. Again, see you in the next video.